Chris Boyd for the PokerStars Senior TT press conference.
Good evening, welcome to the final press conference of TT 2017, viewed by Monster Energy. It is the PokerStars Senior TT, in our podium today in third place for Silicone Engineering Kawasaki, Dean Harrison, our runner-up for Smith's Racing BMW, Peter Hickman, and our winner for Bennetts Suzuki, Michael Dunlop. We have to go to Michael first. Let's get a reaction on that, a big bike win on the Suzuki.
Yeah, I said to Stuart, we knew we would be just brand new motorbike, and I just said to Stuart when we come in, did you honestly think we could win on a brand new motorbike? He says, I dreamt about it, he says, but he says it's a hard task, and I says, well, I was about the same, we knew the boys worked really hard. It's a complete new motorbike, it's not anything, and to keep it going, the bike was fantastic. The team worked real hard. We had problems in the first race, and come here and win on that there is just ticking my box, really. That's a big thing for me, a new manufacturer, new one. I think I've done the rest of them now, so I think that's the last one I needed to win on.
Fantastic. We'll come back and speak to you more fully in a moment. Let's go and speak to the other guys first. Dean, we said it was maybe a bit fortunate after all the bad luck you'd had through practice week on Sunday. No bad luck today. Absolutely fantastic form.
Yeah, no, the bike was faultless, to be honest, from the start, really. In the first part of the race, for red flagged, we were going well in the top three, and then we got red flagged. Me to sort of, there's no worse than the anticipation, sitting around waiting to go again and thinking, I need to be there again, and we are. So over the moon, to be honest. Yep, team was faultless. The pit stop, that was my fault. I stopped a bit earlier, but I thought I'd try to steal some of Pete's fuel, I think. But need to pay more attention in future. But no, the bike never missed a beat, to be fair. Everyone's had lack of laps through a week, which obviously has hindered Michael. Fair play to Michael Burns to come and win on a new bike with a week we've had. His hat's off, to be honest.
Did you make any changes from Sunday through to today?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we even made changes from the first part of the race to the second part of the race, to be honest, because we're still trying to find. Well, you're always trying to find a set round here. You're never going to get perfect. It's just the best compromise you can get possible, and we're always changing bits and bats to get the bike working as we want it. And we got us 132 mile an hour lap, which is what we sort of came to do. So I'm happy with that. To say we've done that now. So it's consistent. It's consistency we need now to start from the lap one to do that to the end of the race.
What were those changes?
I can't tell you that. I'll kill you.
Fair enough, yeah. The fourth on the first lap, and gradually could have crept your way up as you went on. You got in the toe of Peter. And then... Yeah,
no, Pete came at me in the pits, to be honest, and then he got out a bit before me and had a bit of a gap. And as I went on, I slowly started to pull him back in, to be honest. But I was speaking to Pete about this the other week. I don't like to follow somebody real close, because if they go through the hedge, unfortunately you follow them through the hedge. So I like to stay a bit of a gap, so I can sort of concentrate on what I'm doing and do my own thing. And that's what I did throughout for the last two laps, to be honest, and just sort of reel him in towards the end of lap 4. But by then he obviously had already done 10 seconds on, because I must have been like a red rag to a bull to Peter on the start, obviously with me being 10 seconds in front of him, which is not ideal for me, but because he's beat me, hopefully now I'm 10 seconds behind him next year.
Your fastest ever lap at the Mountains course, it's 132.019 on the last lap.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say I'm over the moon with that. Even if I'd done 130.199, I'd have to bang my head against the wall. But no, we've got into that now, so we need to progress from there, really.
And if you sum up your week as a whole, or your fortnight here as a whole, the two Superbike podiums qualify as a good week?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what we set out to do, was try and get on the Superbike podium. We've been on every other podium apart from the Superbike now, so we've done it in both senior and Superbike races. But I was a bit misfortunate in the Supersport race the other day with a problem with the bike, and I felt like I could have pressed on at the front. And the Superstock, to be honest, I just got off to a bit of a crap start, which were my fault. I got held up a little bit, and then I did a 131 on the last lap on my stock bike. But I needed to do that on lap 1, not lap 4, so I think I need to kick up arse from the start, to be honest.
Well, it's an 8th TT podium, and it presumably gives you a lot of confidence to take into the other international road race meetings.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, we've got the Ulster left and a few other road races and some more British Superstock and the rest of it, so no, we'll attack it as we normally do, to be honest.
Many congratulations. Enjoy the party.
Thank you.
Peter, what a week. Absolutely sensational. 5 races, 5 podiums.
Yeah, I don't even really know what to say, to be fair. It's been an unbelievable week for me. Smith's Racing team have worked absolutely brilliant, thanks to the Kawasaki team as well for the lightweight. And came with no podiums, 5 races and 5 podiums. Absolutely mega, I can't ask for any more. It'd have been nice, obviously, to have won one. We were leading it in that first part of the first race of the senior there. I hope Hutch is all right, actually, obviously. Fingers crossed he's okay. And yeah, but we actually had a little bit of an issue anyway with the clutch, even though we were leading. So it was actually a little bit fortunate for us that that we could stop, and the team put a new clutch into it straight away. And after the restart, it was absolutely perfect. So we seem to have a lot of spin today. There didn't seem to be quite as much grip as what there had been. I think the amount of rain that's fallen over the last 2 days, especially, has properly washed the track. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of rubber down, but other than that, I didn't really have any problems. Bike faultless, like normal.
And with fair few people missing ahead of you on the road, no real traffic issues at all.
Yeah, not at all. I could see Dean a little bit at the start on the first lap, so I knew I'd caught a little bit already, but it was only little bits, you know, it was tiny bits here, there and everywhere. And when I finally did kind of get close to him, it was for the pit stop, and then he unfortunately tried to use my fuel, like he said. Fortunately for me, he realised right at the point that I was about to hit the back of him, so as he moved out of the way, I dropped in, and the team did an awesome job in the pit stop. You know, our pit stop was a lot faster today. Mainly, to be fair, was more from myself coming actually into the pits a lot faster than what I had been doing. I tended to be a little bit slack, so I'm sorry to the boys. They've had a lot of stick for slow pit stops, and I think a lot of that was even myself. So.
Yeah, it was a 56.1 second pit stop. Dean was on a 60.6. Michael was on a 59.15, so you had 3 seconds out of them.
Yeah, it's good. Shame we didn't have 2 pit stops. No, again, you know, the team's worked absolutely faultless. We've worked so hard on the pit stop and what to do, what not to do, and you know, it was so slick. It was bang on, and the boys have done a brilliant job.
And your fastest lap was lap 2, 132.254. But Glen Helen, you were so close to the sub 17. You were 17 minutes and 2 lap 1 into lap 2.
Yeah, I pushed really hard at the start in the first one, and obviously that makes your race a lot easier. And we had to do it all again on the restart. And I pushed as hard as I could. You know, I had a few little moments here, there, and everywhere up to Glen Helen. More than I'd like to admit, but I needed to be fast on the first lap, and especially to that first sector. And I gave it all I got, and Michael still had more on us. So fair play to Michael, you know, and the whole team for the Bennetts team. They've obviously got a bike working really well, and Michael's riding the wheels off it. So congratulations to them. And for myself, you know, I'm still only in year 4, so I've learned some more this year, or a lot more, should I say? And we'll come back fighting next year.
And how does Peter Hickman celebrate becoming the Joey Dunlop TT champion at TT 2017?
Good question. I don't know. I've not drank for a while now, but yeah, I'll probably be asleep by about 10 o'clock, won't I?
Well, many congratulations on a fantastic week.
Thank you very much, and just thanks to all the supporters, sponsors, and everyone who's helped me. Thanks a lot.
Let's come back to Michael then. Were you completely confident the Suzuki would do 6 flaps?
Yeah. Obviously, after the first race, we sat down and discovered what the problem was. These things happen. That was simple as that. You know, you can't point fingers. Well, I did, but you can't really. You know, to the boys, they worked as hard as they can. Steve and Shirt, you know, and the whole of the team, you know, were on the verge of a meltdown. But you know, these things happen. It just comes. I said to Steve, it just shows how strong the team is to come back. And we fought back again with the new Suzuki, and you know, as I keep saying with the boys, the sponsor man kept saying, you know, we can make the impossible possible, and that's what we did today. I think with the new bike, you know, it's a credit to the bike, it's a credit to the team, and all the boys worked against the team to get this package to come where it is today.
We gave Peter a flying lap. We'll give you a flying lap as well. Glen Helen, lap 1 into lap 2, 16 minutes, 58.705, 133.334 in conditions nowhere near as good as last year. Yeah, steady. Definitely think, you know, there's if I'm honest, I was real gentle with the bike as to a degree with the downshifts and the changing, the short shifting and stuff like that. So, you know, the bike just goes to show how well the bike was working. As I said, I think I had a conversation with Pete earlier. There was a lot of spin there today, I think. I don't think the grip would have been there from what we had the year before, so that goes to show the lap's pretty steady there. So it's a good lap for where we are. And to be honest with you, Suzuki has so much more to come from it. You know, we've backed out a lot of the power today just to try and get us to a point that we could finish the race or do the best we could. And I just want to take hats off not only to the Bennetts Suzuki team but my own team. You know, they've worked hard. All the boys have worked as hard as they can, and the people on the road there giving out boards and all the rest of the people, you know, it's fantastic. And if we roll back to the start of the spring, Was there a conscious decision not to go to the roads before the Northwest 200? Because obviously you missed Tandragee, you missed Cookstown, you didn't go to Scarborough.
Bike wasn't ready. Simple as that. Parts didn't arrive. You know, we even changed parts this week. Parts seem to just keep coming, and it's just we've been slow with parts, and that's just the long and the short of it. But there's not much we could do. We just had no bike. My stock bike arrived here. And we still it needs a lot more development to do to get us on the next page. But you know, obviously, Sutter Bike showed what package it's got. So yeah, we still got a lot more things we want to sit down with the team and add on through the year to make the bike. You know, I don't think people understand how many miles that bike's done now. It's from what we had at the Northwest, it's a completely different bike to here, different chassis and everything. So we only changed the chassis just before the Sutter Bike race, and then we only got one lap, and then we done one lap the next night, so it's done no miles, you know what I mean. So we've always been working hard, but it's just fantastic, you know. It's especially for the Bennetts, you know, to come here and to win the senior. That's the one everybody wants.
And in terms of an overview of your TT 2017, do today and the Supersport win make it a great TT or a good TT? Or
yeah, I think it depends what way. It's one of them ones there, you know. The first Sutter Bike race, I think would have been steady. I think would have been good. If we had a second Supersport race, it would have been good. But you know, as the man says, if your granny ball should have been your granda. So it's one of them ones, you know. So it's look, 2 good races, 2 good wins. Sutter Bike race is the one they talk about. I've got it. I won it. I'm up to 15 TTs. Something special. More to me, the biggest thing for me was to win in a new manufacturer, stop the dominance, and prove that you know, I can win in anything.
Fantastic. Very, very well done. Your 15th TT win, as you say. And our 3rd senior, in fact, as well, on 2 different manufacturers now, which means a lot.
We'll see them all.
So, our podium in the PokerStars Senior TT. In 3rd place, Peter Hickman. Sorry, Dean Harrison in 2nd place, Peter Hickman. And our winner now, a 15 times TT winner, Michael Dunlop.
Chris Boyd down there.